What's up, everyone? My name is Matt, this is Dylan, and we're here on Fantasy Filmball. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of something that we've never done before, which is going back and revisiting a film that we've talked about on the show before. Because today, we're going to be doing a full spoiler breakdown, a talk, a discussion, a review of Rian Johnson's Glass Onion, now on Netflix, huge hit. We both love this movie, so I'm excited to go a little bit deeper into it. So the reason we're talking about this is because when we last talked about it, like in early November, the film wasn't widely available, so we didn't want to put too many spoilers out there. We were very vague about the film because we really didn't want to say anything that would then ruin the film for someone else. Mm-hmm. So we're revisiting it now to get deep into all of the things. I rewatched it this week with my family. Did you get to rewatch it?
I did. I watched it with my grandparents, and I will say I didn't love it as much the second time, but I still did love it.
Really? What did your grandparents think?
So, my grandma fell asleep, and my granddad really enjoyed it, though. But they both loved the first one.
It's funny that your grandma fell asleep. So I watched it with my family and my uncle, and I think my uncle fell asleep during it, but like literally at the halfway point, when we get to that point, also, this is a spoiler review. I said it before,
Spoilers.
But I'm about to spoil something right now. So if you're still here, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? Get the fuck out. Go watch the movie. It's on Netflix
Peace.
right now. So right at the point where Janelle Monáe gets shot, and then we cut back earlier to Benoit Blanc receiving the box from her.
Yeah.
So my uncle, I think he must have been asleep before, because at that point he stood up and he left for the next 40 minutes. And then he came back at the climax of the movie. And I don't know why he left, but I don't know if he was just like confused or if he fell asleep or what, but he was gone.
Yeah, my grandma fell asleep right around that time. So she woke back up near the end and is like, wait, they're not them? What? What's going on? I was like, you got to watch it again, but I'll gladly rewatch it with you. But yes, spoilers, we can finally discuss this. This is why Janelle Monáe is so great in this movie, because they are playing two roles and they knock both out so well. And in all honesty, with how up in the air supporting actress is right now, why isn't Monáe winning them all?
I mean, Monáe is very much in the conversation for a nomination here.
Yes.
The thing, and I think I talked about this a little bit when we first talked about the film, but the fact of the matter is Cassandra Brand is a dream role for any actor because they get to do layers, kind of like an onion. But the thing, or like a parfait. Everyone loves parfaits. But the thing that's so great about Cassandra is that the actor playing this role gets to not just play Cassandra, but to play Helen, and also to play Helen playing Cassandra. So there's so many layers to this character, and it's so goddamn fun. To like, just, I don't know, the character, the performance is so great because the character is so well written, and the character is so well written because, like, Janelle Monáe is just giving her all to it. I don't think that I think with a weaker script, the performance would not have been as good, but also the character would not have been as well-rounded or well fleshed out without someone as talented as Janelle Monáe in that role. It's very symbiotic.
What's crazy to me is how divisive this movie seems to be online. Like, I don't know if that's just a vocal minority or whatnot, but like you and I, when we saw this movie, everyone was raving about how much they loved it. And all throughout fall festival season, everyone was like, oh my gosh, Glass Onion, it may be better than the first one. And then it comes out on Netflix. I do too. And it comes out on Netflix, and people are like, this movie sucks. This is awful. I'm like, where is this coming from? Because we talked about this before. When it lost Virginia Film Festival to Living, I was like, that's weird. And then now it's happening again where it just seems very divisive. It's like, are we just like the main demo for it, or what's up with this movie?
But people very much like we are the main demographic for this. It's a goofy, wacky comedy that is coming after a film that is like Knives Out is a comedy, but I wouldn't call it goofy or wacky or anything like that. It's not subtle. It's, you know, it's a Don't Look Up type thing. And we've had
I get that.
a lot of people on our Discord server compare it to Don't Look Up in very derogatory ways. I loved Don't Look Up. I love this. I think that for me, the humor lands. I think the satire lands. I think it's a very smart script that really delivers on its promise. I think it's a puzzle that is incredibly fun to solve. I love all of the little clues and hints and sidetracks that have been put in. And personally, I think it's the funniest movie of the year. So, you know...
Yeah, I don't know if I would put it as my funniest of the year. It's definitely up there, but we'll dive in that another time. But for the Glass Onion here, I really appreciate on a second watch how those little clues you can pick up through. Like, if you know what happens, you can see it. Like, since we are in spoiler discussion, I'm forgetting his name. Edward Norton's character hands Duke his drink with the pineapple in it. And you clearly see that once you know what happens. Like, the first time, like, oh, did that happen? Did that not? But literally, they show him handing it. They show him taking the gun. They show him taking the phone. It's in the background. You don't really notice it. But if you know where to look, you see it. And I just love how telegraphed this is. I know you mentioned this on our original discussion of it. This whole movie's told you exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And you don't know it is until you know. And then that's what really makes the rewatches fun, at least for me. It's like, okay, now I see where Janelle Monáe's character just kind of stops and like seems so out of place because they are out of place, and they may linger on somewhere where they're not supposed to be because they're not supposed to be, and they may do something that makes no sense in the moment, and then you see why, and like, okay. And that goes for all the characters, and I just really appreciate the whole Knives Out franchise, I guess that we can now call it. Rian Johnson's presented, and I really am anticipating what Knives Out 3 or whatever it ends up being called comes out, because he said that he started writing it this week, so that's really cool. But the last thing I want to talk about before we dive into Oscar chances with Glass Onion is, was there a favorite moment or a favorite joke or just a favorite aspect of this that really stood out to you on your rewatch?
Something that I keep coming back to is the conversation between Helen Brand and Benoit Blanc on Blanc's porch, where he's talking about they're kind of narrowing down who the suspects are. And I love that the film tells you exactly what it's going to be in that moment, because they say, well, I guess we have to think of all their motivations for, like, why would they kill Cassandra? It doesn't make any sense. Like, they don't really have any motives. But we have to rule out Miles, because there's no way that he's that fucking stupid. Right?
That's my favorite part.
Like, that's my favorite part. They're like, they literally tell you right there. They're like, well, it makes the most sense for it to be him, but obviously it can't be him because it's way too obvious. And it makes me think of a line in Gone Girl where they say, have you ever heard that the simplest answer is often the correct one? And then the police officer goes, well, you know, in my line of work, I find that's often not the case. But it's funny because in this, it very much is the case that the simplest answer is the correct one. It is a glass onion. We can see the middle right at the beginning, but we want there to be layers because it's a murder mystery. And of course, we want there to be a little bit more mystery to this, a little bit more mystique. And there's not, which is the funniest part. You know, they have to make up excuses of, you know, why is it someone else? Why is it someone that it doesn't make sense for it to be? It's golden. I love it.
Yeah, my favorite part is when Blanc realizes, like, oh, it is Miles, and Miles is a fucking idiot. And I just love that realization he has, and he delivers this, and everyone's around like, wait, what? I don't know. I love
Can
the
we
way
just fully
the screenplay is
abbreviate
constructed.
this moment right now?
Yes. Okay, last thing. I know I said last thing before, but last thing again. The first time I watched this, maybe I am the target demo because I didn't realize it was Miles at first. I thought, like, the character is like, oh, it's too obvious to be him. It has to be someone else. So I was trying to figure out who had motive. And my initial, like, the first time I was viewing, I was like, I guess it's Whiskey because she had, like, she doesn't actually like Duke. And she's just with him to help build her brand. And then she leaves right when he dies. And the gun's mysteriously missing, and then we don't see her again until the shot happens, and she walks out above where the room would have been, where the bullet came from. Obviously, it wasn't her, but I don't know if that was intended or not, but that's at least how I got it the first time. I was like, wow, that's such like little details that correlate that probably have no connection at all.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how you could think that. For me, I definitely wasn't even trying to solve it. I was kind of just like, I feel like it's got to be Braun.
Yeah.
But I'll just let the movie take me on its roller coaster ride. And that's something Rian Johnson said. Because in the Q&A for the film, someone, God, I hate TIFF Q&As. I love TIFF Q&As. I hate
Q&As in general.
But someone raised their hand and they were like, Ryan, you constructed such an intricate murder mystery. How does it feel knowing that you're the smartest person in this room?
Wow.
And Ryan's like, well, I don't feel like I'm the smartest person in this room. I don't feel like I was fooling anyone. I don't feel like I was trying to fool anyone. My goal when I write a murder mystery, when I wrote Knives Out, when I wrote Glass Onion, my goal is not to try and outsmart the audience, because then, that leads you to doing things that don't make sense for the characters. It doesn't make sense for the world. I'm not trying to outsmart the audience. I'm trying to give the audience a very fun thrill ride. I don't care if they figure it out right away. I just want to lead them on a fun journey that surprises them. Maybe it won't surprise them who it is, but it's still going to surprise them in the way that we get there. That was...
I agree.
I'm paraphrasing, but that's how I feel about Glass Onion. I think he did it perfectly. It is, for lack of a better word, as Martin Scorsese would say, this is amusement park cinema.
Yes, it could be, and that brings me to my next question. That question asker at TIFF did make a correct statement. He wrote a great blank, blank, blank. He wrote screenplay. This is obviously getting in for adapted screenplay. And then that's where it comes to what else can this get? Because some people, theme park movies, sometimes get into Best Picture, and this year we have a lot of them. Is there room for another one? Can this get supporting actress for Janelle Monáe? Can this get score or production design or costumes? Because to me, this screams Borat 2. And it's the one that comes just short to getting into picture, but does hit adapted and does hit supporting actress.
I've got it in picture. It's my number 9 for picture right now.
I have it at 11 right now, but I'm really close to putting it in, but because I just don't understand Netflix this year. I know we discussed this at length throughout multiple different episodes, but Netflix doesn't seem to want to commit to anything, because they started off with, I guess you can say, Bardo. I never really bought they were making Bardo their main push after Venice, after the initial, before Venice, obviously Bardo. But as soon as that first reactions came out, Netflix seemed to not care about that movie anymore. And then they picked up, it seemed like, oh, now it's White Noise. No, it's not. TIFF, let's go to Pinocchio and Glass Onion. Oh, it's Glass Onion. JK, we're over to Pinocchio. Guess what? We're back at Glass Onion. And now it seems they may be swaying to All Quiet, or they're sticking with Glass Onion. Who really knows? And I think at the end of the day, that's going to cost them everything. And all their movies are going to underperform.
You might be right, but I guess the reason I have it at number 9 is because Babylon is underperforming so spectacularly, and RRR had a big build-up in steam, and now it's going a little bit back down.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I've got Glass Onion 9, Babylon 10, RRR at number 11, and then Woman King number 12. It could be possible that Woman King is in the 10, and we're not expecting it right now. And I've got All Quiet at number 13.
Okay.
As for other things for this film, screenplay, yes, locked. Potential winner. I don't think a winner right now, but it's potential. No. I still think Women Talking is undeniable there. So, yes. And then supporting actress. Do I have Janelle Monáe in? Let me see.
I do. I have them at. If they get nominated, I think they win. But their thing is getting nominated.
Really? I don't think that they win if they get nominated. I've got them at number 5.
Who does win though?
Carrie Condon or Angela Bassett.
Buy that.
Carrie Condon or
I don't have Bassett getting in, but
you don't have Bassett getting in. Bassett got
no.
the Globe and Critics' Choice and is going to get SAG. Angela Bassett. But
I am going to deny it until it happens.
This isn't an Angela Bassett conversation.
True,
this is a Glass Onion. I wish that I could have it in for production design. I wish that I could have it in for score. I know you don't really love the score. Rewatching the film, I was like, oh my god, the music is amazing. This is fantastic. I think the themes are really great. The orchestration is really creative. It's bombastic. It's big. It is clever music. I loved the music. I would love to see it in score. It's not going to make score. And then I'd also love to see it in costume design. That's the one where I think it might have a shot. Ultimately, I think that this maxes out at 3 nominations.
Okay. So that would be picture, screenplay, and supporting actress?
Yes. Those are the ones I have it for right now. Actually, I'd say it maxes out at 4. Because it could get costume design, but I am not going to predict that.
Yeah, I would also see a world for costume design if it gets into the picture. Just costume design seems pretty secure, and with how I feel bad, I forgot his name, but the guy who did the Fablemans never misses, and that would be the one that you would feel like misses, and he never misses.
Yeah, Mark Bridges.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's completely possible that it makes costumes, but I don't know. I think the film would have to be a lot stronger than we think it is for it to make that. So yeah, I say the minimum, the floor for this film is 1 nomination. The ceiling is 4.
Okay, I think I can agree with you there. I have it with 2, with a missing picture, with Monet and screenplay in. But we will have to see, and everyone out there, let us know. Did you love Glass Onion? Did you think it was a steaming pile of poop? Are you a Miles Braun supporter? Do you love Miles? Let us know in the comments. But until next time. I can't
wait for Ben Shapiro to comment on our YouTube video.
Hey, Ben, if you're here, what's up?
Hey, Ben, if you're here, go fuck yourself.
But until next time, my name is Dyl.
And my name is Matt, and this is Fantasy Filmball.